Hey guys, so today I had initially had something else planned and I totally scratched that because we have had pretty much every single day we're getting emails and questions from practice members about head shape. And so I wanted to do a live video about that. I'm not going to go super in depth into every little thing that I'm checking for, but I'm going to give you guys quick demonstration of what I would look for, one thing that I would look for, and then I want to go more in depth as to cranials in general. So one of the things that I look for these little ones, if you have a child who has maybe a long, narrow face, sometimes that can be caused because the arch of the mouth is very narrow, okay? So if you think about the hard palate and you rub your tongue along your own, you can kind of feel how that should be shaped. Hopefully yours is correct, right? So these little ones, what I will do is I'll put a glove on and I'll go in to feel the top of their mouth, that palate. And sometimes the rough, it's too narrow. So what will happen is those maxillary bones got kind of jammed and went up. Or the other thing that can happen is that they overlap and there's this hard ridge that we'll find there. We do not want ridging, okay? So ridging to me, a really high palate, narrow arch, we gotta work on that because what will happen is if you do not address that, especially before the teeth start coming in, teeth can get overcrowded. So we wanna work on that palate, we wanna work on those cranials to make sure that both sides of the roof of the mouth, both of these sides are level. You don't want one side up and one side down. You don't want that hard ridge. And you don't want it too narrow. So that is one thing that we are looking for when it comes to cranials and these little ones. The other thing too is once they have teeth, we all know how sharp they are. So once they have a full mouth of teeth, I typically am not gonna go inside because I'm gonna get my finger chewed on and it's gonna hurt. So really want you guys to know that this has to happen ASAP after they are born. We need to be checking cranials. Yes, I'm checking dural tension, but the thing with that, we did a video a while ago about dural tension and getting the feet up to the forehead. Some of that dura attaches in the head, within the cranials. So we want to make sure that we're checking cranials as well. The other thing that I've heard a lot of from moms, and I just want to talk about cranials in general, is that if somebody has a flat spot on the back of their head or anywhere really, they're like, oh my God, I totally thought that only happened because they weren't carrying their kids enough. They were the kids that were always on the floor. Mom never held them enough. So if you have a child who has a flat spot, let me tell you, it is not because you did not hold your child enough, okay? So I want to just kind of get that out there. That's such a myth because I know so many moms that they come in, they're like, oh, now it's me. So here's the deal, you guys. Whether it's because of position during pregnancy or whether it was because of how they went through that birth canal or had to do a C-section, if there was vacuum involved, I've had tons of little ones lately who have had the vacuum used. That can affect how those cranials move. So cranials meaning all the bones in the head, right? They do not fuse. No. There are some cases where they will fuse, but in general, they don't fuse, you guys. They have to overlap in order to get through the birth process, and sometimes they stay stuck like that, or sometimes they'll go back, but then they don't move. They don't have this nice pulsing that they should have. And the brain is gonna double in size in that first year. It's gonna find a way. So if these bones are not moving and they're stuck as the brain grows, it's gonna go this way or forward and not back here. So what we want to do is make sure that we're checking those cranials, make sure that they are having that pulse, that they're moving like they should, so that as the brain grows, it can grow symmetrically and you can have this really nice, beautifully shaped head. It is not because you didn't hold your baby enough, although I'm sure there probably are those cases, but for most moms, it's not because of that. So don't feel bad that oh my gosh, it's because I wasn't holding him enough. No, it's because whether it was because how that baby was positioned in utero, how the birth process was. And that's why we ask you guys, when you come into our office, we talk about pregnancy. We talk about your stress during pregnancy. We talk about labor and delivery. How long did you push during labor and delivery? These all help me make clinical decisions about how long these little ones need to be under corrective care. What kind of cranials do I need to do? All that kind of stuff is going into my decision on how to best take care of these little ones. So it's not, even like with torticollis, a lot of people say, well, this is caused by the torticollis. Okay, yes, there can be. I'm going to totally go into this really quick, yet not. So a lot of times people will go to the PT. Absolutely, go to the PT. They're going to work on those muscles, get them stretched, get them loose, so they have balance between the muscles. What I am working on is the brain communicating with the muscles, which happens through the nervous system. So you have to have that baby checked and adjusted when necessary. We got to make sure that that communication is going on so baby can function at its best and heal at its best. And so we want to make sure that we're checking and adjusting them, and then we have got to work on cranials with these little ones so that they can thrive in that first few years, right? Because they're going through tons of growth development. They go through tons of growth spurts and learning how to crawl and roll and walk and everything like that. You guys, that all puts a stress on their nervous system and on the dura. So that will affect, guess what, head shape. So if you found it interesting, if you know a mom who has questions about cranials, please send this video, share this video with people, comment, send us direct message if you have any other questions. And if you're interested in more in what we do, call and make an appointment, you guys, and you can see the scans that we do on these little ones. You can see how cranials. There is a book, I didn't bring it back here, but it's called Baby Beautiful, and hopefully we can take that book in here. But it's a great reference. But I always say, if you do not know what you're doing on cranials, do nothing. Unless you're confident, do nothing, because cranials is a super sensitive area. You have to have the right amount of pressure. If you're using too much, you're going to actually do more harm than good to these little ones. So we got to know what we're doing. We got to have the right amount of pressure. But that book is great at giving you some basic knowledge about baby's head shape, and that's what it's about. So hope you guys found it interesting. If you want me to talk more about this, different ones, let us know, and hope you guys have a great day. Bye.